Hello everyone. Today's we are going to discuss a topic that is anti-diabetic agents. But before the discussion of anti-diabetic agents, we should know about the diabetes mellitus. What is the diabetes? So, diabetes mellitus is a chronic metabolic disorder which is characterized by hyperglycemia and altered metabolism of carbohydrates, lipids and proteins, and it is a common condition which is affected by 1 to 2% of the population with a strong hereditary tendency. And diabetes mellitus was earlier grouped into two types, but most researchers now classify them into the four types, that is type 1 IDDM, and its full form is insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. And IDDM is an autoimmune disorder where antibodies destroy the beta cells of the islet of Langerhans, leading to insulin deficiency, and it is usually occurs in the young children and adolescents. And the incident is of the type of diabetes mellitus is fortunately low. Okay. And type 2 is NIDDM, that is non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. And non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus is of maturity onset, and this is mostly most patients are obese, and there is both reduced sensitivity of the tissues to insulin and impaired regulation of the insulin secretion, and there is a decreases in circulatory concentration of the insulin. Next, type 3 is it is due to the causes like pancreatectomy, drugs and non-pancreatic disease. And now come to the type 4 is it is the gestational diabetes, which may be due to placental hormones that are responsible for the insulin resistance. And administration of glucose by oral route stimulates insulin secretion better than by intravenously route, because orally given glucose evokes the release of gastrointestinal hormones and also stimulate vagal activity. Actually, it helps to prevent or delay the onset of complications of the diabetes. The hemoglobin becomes glycosylated and forms HbA. AI1C, and its concentration indicated the severity and duration of the hyperglycemic states. Prolonged exposure of tissues to hyperglycemia results in various complications, including premature atherosclerosis, retinopathy, nephropathy, and gangrene of the limbs. Okay, actually it is thought to be due to the reduced blood supply to these structures because of thickening of the capillary walls. Now come to the insulin. Actually, basically insulin is very helpful to be treated the diabetes mellitus. It is an anti-diabetic agent. So in 1921, Banting and Beast, these are the two scientists which are the first to obtain insulin in the form of pancreatic extract. In 1922, an extract containing insulin was first used on 14-year-old boy suffering from severe diabetes mellitus with excellent responses. So insulin was then purified in a few years. So now come to the chemistry, synthesis and secretion of the insulin. Actually, the isolate of Langerhans are composed of four type of cells, that is beta cells secreted the insulin, alpha cells glucagon, and delta cells somatostatin, and para cells secreted the pancreatic polypeptides. Now next point is glucose enters the pancreatic beta cells with the help of glucose transporters, and insulin is released from the granules by a process of exocytosis. And the natural insulin is a polypeptide synthesis sized from the precursor preproinsulin, which is cleaved to be proinsulin. Next point, it has two peptide chain A and peptide chain B, and peptide chain having the 21 amino acid and peptide chain B is having the 30 amino acids which are linked by the disulfide bridges. And the insulin is stored into the granules in the beta islet cell of the pancreas. Next one is the normal pancreas releases about 40 to 50 units of insulin every day. Basal insulin secretion is 0.5 to 14 per 0.5 to 1 unit per day and increases after meal up to 6 unit per day. The secretion is regulated by factors like food, hormones, and autoimmune nervous system. Hypokalemia inhibits the insulin secretion, and insulin is metabolized in the liver, kidney, and muscles. Glucose transporter are proteins which are present in the different tissues, and they are of 5 subtypes, that is glucose transporters 1 to glucose transporter 5. We could say that GLUT1 to GLUT5, they mediated various functions. For example, GLUT4 is present in muscles and adipose tissues which promote the uptake of glucose, and the actions of the action of the insulin into the body, that is carbohydrate metabolism, which insulin stimulate the uptake and metabolism of the glucose in the peripheral tissues, especially skeleton muscles and adipose tissues. Okay, now come to the lipid metabolism, and another action of the by the insulin, which is inhibit the lipolysis in the adipose tissue and promote the synthesis of triglycerides. And in diabetes, large amount of fat are broken down. And next point is protein metabolism, and the protein metabolism in which the insulin facilitate the amino acid uptake and protein synthesis and inhibits protein breakdown anabolic effect. So in diabetes there is increase the catabolic effect and negative nitrogen balance. So this is about the diabetes mellitus and about the insulin. So thank you, hope you understand about it.